We're back again, another week. Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening to Effin Rager. As always, I am Connor Clifton, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Ned Gale. Hi, Ned.
Howdy. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Sweating my face off.
Oh, yeah. Just like last week, it's hot outside.
That's right. We're still calling the weather. We're done with traffic, though.
Oh, yeah.
You're on your own.
All right. So, Nettie boy, let's get to it. How was your freaking weekend?
Oh, my weekend was a disaster. If disaster is how you define fun.
It is.
And it is. Disaster movie was great. No, it wasn't. You guys don't worry about it. My weekend was very fun. Swimwear Department put out their album on Friday night. I challenged the entire crowd to limbo. I, of course, crushed them.
You did. I saw it.
And then Saturday was also a fantastic day. I'm reaching in the back of my head. I know we hung out. What did we do Saturday?
I moved.
You moved.
And then...
What did I do?
I don't know.
I hang out with my stupid girlfriend?
No, we got a video game.
Oh, we bought a video game. We played. Oh, I did defensive driving. That's what I did all day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I hung out with my wonderful girlfriend. I'm sorry, Hannah.
Yeah, tell us, how was defensive driving?
Defensive driving was offensive. It was so bad. I did comedy online defensive driving, which I'm saying it's bad. That was so nice of them to do a comedy online thing because it was convenient. It was helpful. It was wonderful. It was abysmal. There was so many like Tim and Eric-esque like green screen bits, and you could tell even the people who filmed it were just like, we're just gonna do one take, and they make fun of that in the video. So it was like they were aware how bad it was, but it was really bad.
How much money do you think you get made to make one of those videos?
I don't know. That's all I was thinking about the whole time. I was like, how do I get this job? Like,
we got to figure.
I could submit to this because it's in 4:3, so it needs updating.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got a 4K
been a
camera.
Bit, yeah.
We could do.
We
drone
shoot
shots.
in stunning 4K.
All right. So did you pass defensive driving?
100%. I didn't even watch half of it. I mean,
can I ask you what you did to be such a bad boy that you had to take defensive driving?
Going fast, baby. I always go fast.
Yeah.
Traffic report. Watch out for me. No, yeah, I was driving through a small town after visiting Cody at his school in Copper's Cove, and I was nabbed by the wicked claws of the law.
Busted.
Yeah.
Ned, you should know by now, having listened to the show, having done the show, we don't do well with the cops. That's why we always let our guests talk to them.
The way I talked to that cop, too, and the way the cop talked to me was very just like, hello, sir, you were speeding, so I will give you a ticket now. And I said, yes, that makes very much sense. And then he said, okay, I will see you later. I was like, do you need my registration? He's like, no, it's fine. We use the internet now. And then he came back and he's like, all right, have a good day. I'm sorry this had to happen. And he didn't say I'm sorry this had to happen. But that's how it felt. It was so nice. Yeah, and I couldn't I was like, oh, yeah, this makes sense.
No, that's really nice. So on a slight little related tangent here, my girlfriend got in a car wreck this weekend.
Yeah.
She's fine, everybody. She's okay. Her car front door won't open. It's a little weird. And then the cop showed up, and she's from the Midwest. She's very, very sweet. But she immediately just goes, hi, officer, and shakes his hand. And yeah, right? And she was like, I'm from the Midwest. We're really nice up there. I don't know what the deal is. I'm like, I mean, honestly, I guess you could shake hands with a cop. I just don't know why you would.
But that makes sense, like, in the situation where you're, like, at the scene of a crime, and it's like, we are about to do business together. Like, I guess.
We shouldn't call it business.
I can't falter for that. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to what we did this weekend. There's one thing I want to talk about for all you video game heads out there. Ned and I found something that was really, really cool. Anybody out there like Mega Man? Well, guess what? Ned and I do.
Oh, yeah. Me. Oh, yeah, you already told me. Yeah.
So
I love it.
We started playing this new Mega Man-inspired game, and it's got these aspects that are, they call them roguelike, which means they make up every level every time you play.
Yeah, it's like generated.
Yeah, and I personally find that kind of modular gameplay to be very, very
It's
cool.
very cool, and it encourages you, once you die, you're dead, and you have to start over. So it's like speedrunning Mega Man X, and it's 2 players. So
Oh, that's the main part
We became
about it.
filthy drooling nerds for like 7 hours.
If it's got couch co-op on the back of that game, you know Ned and I are going to be playing it 4 hours. All right. So that was a pretty nerdy thing to talk about. I'm really sorry about it. But hey, speaking of nerd culture, I want to bring up our guest for today. Everybody, please welcome one of the co-hosts of a fellow KPFT show, Pop and Schlock, Miss Meredith Nudo.
Hey, Thank you so much for having me, Connor and Ned. I really appreciate it.
Of course. We, it's here at Pledge Week, and while we really want the listeners to support us, we have to support each other. So we figured, of course, we're going to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Well, we're doing all right. It's hot outside.
Yeah, I walked here, and I'm a mess. I'm sorry for being so stinky.
No, I think we're all stinky, and you do this studio as well. Yeah. So our scents are already embedded in here. We can't smell anything but the scent of this room.
It's our essence.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
Oh,
a
man.
fine pyramidal tea bag.
Everyone always wants. Everyone always wants to say if these walls could talk, but what if these walls could smell? Puke out of the air.
Well,
vent.
it can't talk. It can only smell. So it just sits there and suffers, like all of our listeners.
It has no mouth, so it cannot scream.
It just vibrates.
Oh, man. R.I.P. Harlan Ellison. Ugh. Were you a big fan of that story when it came out? Well, it came out very, very long time ago. How are you that old?
I do remember when it came out. I haven't played it yet. It's on my Steam wish list.
Wait, I have no
And the
mouth.
Mouth That I Must Scream?
Yeah. Oh, have you read the story it's based on?
Yeah, so long ago I don't remember it. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's spooky, Ned. I think
Wait,
you
who
would.
wrote the story?
Harlan
Ellison.
Ellison.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Harlan Williams.
After Rocket Man.
wall started talking. I hope he's all right.
All right, Meredith. First off, before we get into the meat of the show, the party stuff, I want to ask you, can you talk about Pop and Schlock a little bit? I know we've listened to some episodes, had a lot of opinions on some of the guest stances on Ant-Man. I'll just throw it out there. But
Connor has some beef, and we'll get to that when we get to the meat.
But what can you tell us about Pop and Schlock?
So Pop and Schlock is actually the brainchild of Jay Goodson Dodd, a.k.a. Jake for brevity's sake, a.k.a. my nemesis and co-host, all at once. And so he started it, I believe, back in 2013 as a podcast that was going to be simultaneously about current run movies as well as really schlocky older ones.
Yeah.
So hence the name Pop and Schlock. I was not on the first year and a half that it was there. It was Jake, and there was another co-host, and then I came on as a guest. I met Jake at a signing that we were both doing. It was a free comic book day event. I was signing the Space City Nerd Zine, and Jake was there signing his books. And I stopped by his table, and I talked, and he had mentioned that he wanted to start a Twitter war with someone because he thought that maybe the drama would cause people to buy his books.
Ooh, I
And
like this.
I was like, I'll do it. And so
You know what? I'm looking to fight.
yeah, so I plopped down next to him and we started fighting on Twitter right there, and it looked like a real fight to the point where I had friends come in and be like, who is this jerk? You want me to waste him for you? I'm like, no, it's this actually.
May I ask what you guys were fighting about?
I don't even remember. I think it had something
Just
to do
throwing
with
bows.
it was. I think it was just random insults, and we were trolling each other. I think at one point he called me Death Harpy, which is it has stuck since then, and he did actually get followers, and he did actually sell books.
Awesome.
Mission accomplished.
Wow.
So we got to be friends. There's a photo of me from the night that I met him. I don't know if I still have it or not, but we took it at Black Lab, and I'm standing behind him with a knife. And I have it raised while he's sitting there oblivious. He knew that I was doing it, so it's not like it was. But yeah, we have that staged picture of us, and he later asked me to be on the Pop and Schlock episode about bronies, because there was that brony documentary that came out, and so he had me on to talk about it. We bantered really well back and forth. I guessed it a few more times, then he's like, do you want to go ahead and just be our third co-host? And I was like, yeah. And so we did several years of that, and then around the end of 2016 and 2017, we kind of had to stop doing it because we all had some just really unfortunate things that were happening in our lives, and we had to take a step back. And at the beginning of this year, I told Jake that I missed him. I was like, I miss working with you. You were just like, you're one of my creative soulmates. I miss you. And he was like, oh, I was just thinking the same thing. He said that he had been thinking about a revival of Pop and Schlock now that everything had kind of had quieted down for us both. Yeah. And it coincided with Don posting that he was looking for more shows for the HD2 station. And I messaged him the thing. And I was like, do you want to just go ahead and try for a radio show? Like, I know that means we have to follow FCC guidelines, and therefore 99% of what we have to say we can't say.
What's everyone's beef with the FCC? It stands for Fun Cool Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, the funnest and coolest cats there are. Anyway, so we recorded a 30-minute demo about Bright. Oof.
I'm going to be honest, I just registered Bright as the movie Powder in my head for half a second, and I was like, cool.
Nah, it's way worse.
That's the Will Smith
Much
Netflix.
Warcraft for cops.
Yeah.
Warcraft for cops.
It
Cool.
was awful, and we managed to only do 30 minutes of anger in our beef. Like we each had like 5 or 6 pages of notes, angry rants about it. So we recorded it. We sent it to Don. He said, "When can you come in and learn the ropes of the station?" And we did. Then he asked when we could start, and we gave him a date, and we started at the beginning of January.
Nice. Fantastic.
Yes, that's the story of Pop and Clock.
All right. Now, in that story, you mentioned Space City Nerds.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? What is that? They just make zines?
They used to. They started off as a blog, and then they became a zine and a blog, and then they became a zine, a blog, and a podcast network.
And then an empire.
And then they just became a podcast network.
Yeah.
So, but they were great. It was run by Jesus Garza and Ryan Chiari and Rex Neighbors and Sean DeFlora. All great guys.
Do they have anything to do with the Houston meme group, the Swamp Posting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're the same guys.
Big fan.
Hang on, what's Swamp Posting?
It's the other S posting,
Okay.
but it's just like Houston specific memes. So
yes.
anytime something funny happens in Houston, they just like a bunch of memes will. Yeah, I'll add you to the group. It's
Okay.
good stuff.
Yeah, they're
highly
fantastic.
recommend.
You've added me to meme groups before, and I've been very disappointed. So.
Okay, well,
They're also the ones that are really good about calling out and finding fake con scams.
oh yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
they're
always
the
very
forefront
funny.
of
Well, Con's the electronics store?
No. No, like conventions.
This store's pretending to be a cons. It's actually a lemonade stand.
I don't know.
They're selling batteries.
I know, it's a valid question. It's a valid question.
All right, so like anime cons and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just nerd cons in general.
Wait a second. Is there a big problem with fake cons?
There was a particular convention that was running a scam for a while here that they were, and I won't name it, but they were quick to call it out and make sure it was dealt with. And it was the con world. Don't worry about it, Connor.
All right.
They've done this several times, so they rat them out really fast.
All right. So
You could say they're con stars.
Ah!
It's a pun on. Okay.
So Meredith, how do you like being a part of the KPFT family? How do you like having the radio show?
I enjoy doing it.
Yeah?
It's a lot of fun, yeah, even though we can't swear.
But you swear you're having fun.
I swear I'm having fun. Yeah, no, I something that I think we need to do a better job of is going back and watching the older schlocky movies. But we've mostly been focusing this first year on poppier stuff, just so it's stuff that we know that our listeners have probably
Yeah,
watched.
it's current and relevant.
Right, just
yeah.
easing them into it before dropping them into the whole, we're watching a talking cat and things like that.
That is a fantastic
love that movie.
That movie is
Great music. Yeah. Wait, so on schlocky movie, I love schlocky movies.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, like a top schlock?
I don't know if this counts as a schlocky movie or not, but I adore Barbarella.
Oh, you have nailed me directly in the chest. Barbarella is one of my favorite movies
Yes.
of all. That was our youth awakening. Is our friend's dad when we were like 12 or 13 was like, you guys should watch Barbarella, and then Jane Fonda opens it by like floating around naked, and we're like, what's this? And then we got through the movie and we're like, oh wait, what is this? Like,
Yep. Oh no, Barbarella has.
it's amazing. So one of my original high school bands, most of the songs got rewritten into new songs, but it started as a Barbarella like concept album where we're just writing about every scene and like riding on a manta ray where she's skiing on that manta ray.
Right.
There's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
It's been too long since I've seen the movie now.
And speaking of John Philip Law, I always like Danger Diabolic as well. It's always a fun one. So yeah, those are some of my favorite of the schlocky movies. God, I remember Frogs when I first watched
Frogs.
I own Frogs.
Yes.
I've never watched
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It is like the classic, to quote Gilbert Dautrive, the swamp takes what it calls its own.
Yeah.
It is frogs and moss. Moss kills someone.
Oh,
chokes them to
yes.
Yeah, it's lizards and moss kill more people than frogs.
Mm-hmm.
I felt
the frogs
very ripped
just command
off.
people. They kill one person when they like a plague amount of frogs just like barrel through this old man in a wheelchair's mansion. He's like, "No, the frogs!" and then they rivet him to death.
Talking about Hoppenschlag.
And then at the end of the credits, an animated frog hops into the center of the screen and just goes. It's great.
That's so awesome. Good. I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's opportunities like this that make me so happy that KPFT exists. I'm going to transition into this not very gracefully, but if you want to hear more conversations like this, you can listen to Pop and Schlock, you can listen to Effin Rager, you can listen to any of the amazing content that KPFT can give you, the Houston listeners, and people out there in the greater Houston area. We are going through a pledge drive right now. If you have anything in your heart to give, if you have anything in your wallet to give, please call in at 713-526-5738 and pledge to KPFT so that more community-sourced, amazing content can be brought to you, the listeners. All right, back to Space City Nerds. So as you mentioned this show on the Facebook earlier today, and you mentioned that you would be talking about some parties with the Space City Nerd folk.
They threw the best parties.
Oh,
And
my goodness.
I hope someday that Jesus goes back to throwing parties. 'Cause
Now-
he threw the best.
What makes their parties better than Connor and our parties? Because we're clearly the best party throwers in, I would say, the nation.
Yep.
Yeah, the
pretty high up
AWOL
there.
nation. Yeah. But no, what made these parties so fantastic?
There was one where they booked Richie Branson and Adam Warrock for their zine release party, which was amazing in and of itself. They did they played at Avant Garden. That was their zine release party, which was a lot of fun. There were so many people, so much dancing, and the Avant Garden sangria.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
And
Yes.
I knew
It's a good gria.
yeah, I knew that was a good party because I woke up the next morning on my bathroom floor with bloody scratches all up and down my arms.
No.
And I had no idea how I got there.
That-
Because of that sangria.
Human fingers, cat claws.
No, I fell in a rose bush on the walk home. I had a friend that had to walk me home. I don't live that far from Avant Garden, and so a friend of mine walked me
Can we
home.
get the exact address, if you will?
No.
All right, we always try for our guests.
No. So, yeah, I asked, I was like, how did this happen, and where's my copy of the Malleus Maleficarum?
Yeah, we got to
So-
bust those witches.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, you fell into a bush and just kind of sat there for a while. And it was a bit of a struggle to pull you out. And I was like, well, sounds like a great party to me.
I think it's pretty funny that when you're drunk, your impulse is like, let's get some witches. Woo!
I think I had it with me because I was loaning it to a friend of mine, and then I forgot to loan it out.
Okay.
And they were, of course, devoured by witches by the
Yeah.
end of the night. Yeah.
Now, have you ever thrown a party yourself?
Yes.
Oh, what was that like?
It lasted for 12 hours.
What?
It was simultaneously, like, I think maybe one of the first and last parties that I ever threw. Just because I was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to top this. So back when it was cheap to live there, I used to live at the Rice Hotel downtown.
Oh.
And
Wait, is it just called the Rice Hotel, or did you live in a hotel?
it's just called the Rice Hotel. I think it's called like
Okay.
the Post-Rice Lofts officially, but historically it's in the register as the Rice Hotel.
Okay.
So it used to be cheap to live down there because there was nothing to do downtown and you couldn't really leave your place after 6 p.m. without getting, like, stabbed. So, yeah, there was actually a serial killer who was around at the time. So,
Oh.
yeah, good times.
They still around, or what are they doing?
No, I think they found the guy. But
Good.
he was, like, strangling women and leaving them on the steps of the
Jesus.
cathedral. Yeah. So, anyway, good times living downtown, everybody. So, anyway, Portal 2 had come out.
Yes.
And a friend of mine was torn between wanting to stay home, but then wanting to come to my place. And I was like, why don't you just bring Portal 2 to
Did
my
you tell them it's the
place?
first multiplayer Portal?
Right. And so they did bring Portal there, and I was like, why don't we just invite a whole bunch of people over to enjoy it? And we made orange and blue drinks. It was the first time that I ever drank Bailey's from a shoe.
First time.
Was it the last time?
No. So drank Bailey's from a shoe. We had orange and blue drinks, and it ended up lasting for 12 hours. Like I said, a friend of mine that lived across the hallway had gone to a different party, and he stopped by to to just say hello or to see what the noise was because he felt like continuing to party. And he's like, well, I've got these 4 bottles of champagne. And I was like, well, you're invited now. And we stayed up.
He's playing Edward Champagne
Yeah.
limbs. Yeah, his legs and arms.
We drank a whole bunch of champagne with bitters in it.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Wait, so 12 hours, what was the start and finish? Was this like a day to next day affair or night to night?
It was about 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Okay.
All right.
So it was an all night.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, that was a fun time. And after that, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to throw another party because
think I'm
I
done.
don't know how I can top this.
Did you guys beat Portal?
I don't think we made it past the first few levels, honestly.
Oh, no.
I think we stopped playing Portal after a while. Like I remember enjoying it because I was like, oh, I love listening to Stephen Merchant talk.
Oh, he's so wonderful in
Love
that game.
him. I love him so much. And then everyone was like, who's Stephen Merchant? I was like, why are we friends if you don't know these things? So yeah, no, that was my favorite party that I threw. But nothing beats a Space City Nerd party. I will say that. With all due respect,
Now,
I know that you guys throw one.
Oh, we haven't thrown a party in a while.
yeah, it's been a bit. I mean, we're moving,
just trying to
talking
flex,
about
yeah.
it, but the economy is in shambles. We just can't really do it.
Are you saying there's no reason to drink?
I think that's the best reason.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Okay, no, we talk about this every now and then. What constitutes a party? Because the last,
Oh, true.
a couple of weeks ago, we had like 7 to 8 people over, and we were all drunk. Sounds like a party.
I think it was a party. I think it was a party. It was a small party, a shindig, if you will. But I think that's a
little
party.
get together.
I think where 2 or 3 are gathered into good times names, there is party in their midst.
All right.
I agree with that. All the words I got. No, I think because we had a long conversation about that. And I think 3 people is like 2 people is not a party. I don't think
No.
you can do a party at 2 unless you're being seated for dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
But 3 people I think is when it becomes a party. Or 2 people and a dog. I don't know. You party how you want.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's a petting party right there because the dog just like 2 hands. What? Yeah, that could be a party.
And then we're all like
Yeah.
a talking dog.
Don't give away my idea.
That script has been sitting on their desk for like years now after Talking Cat. They're like, just someone
Oh,
greenlight it.
did
Just
you
let
guys
us
not know about a talking horse?
Is that, wait, what?
Yes.
What?
There's a spiritual sequel, if you will, called A Talking Horse.
Of course.
And I cannot tell you if it's as good as A Talking Cat because I keep
Let's
doing
do it. All right. So we are still live.
All right.
Now we are just running off of OBS's recording. We'll see. We're at the mercy of
Okay. Hey.
FLV conversion. So
Yeah.
we'll see where this goes.
Spooky.
Hey, if we're not on air, we could curse, right?
We probably shouldn't.
Yeah,
just to
good
be
to
safe.
come back
That's when
on.
the electricity comes on, and we're just like, and then
All right. When was the last time you were in a blackout like this? Oh, by the way,
Oh yeah. We should say so. The power just went out at KPFT. We lost it. We're jumping back in on the old computer recording. So this is not live.
All right.
So yeah, have you ever been at a party where the electricity went out?
I believe so. I used to live in Huntsville. So, yes.
Power's always out over there.
We had done hurricane parties.
Oh
up
yeah.
in
I've had
Huntsville.
many
So
a
we
hurricane
had-
party.
Yeah, Rita's for Rita.
Oh.
Things like that. So no, the last few blackouts that I'd been in were Harvey, obviously.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
not a party.
No.
Nah,
That
no.
was
Very
not
fun.
that was not a hurricane that I felt like partying.
Nah, that was a panic hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like an actual disaster. Well,
We-
they were all actual disasters.
Speaking on improv, my very first show at Station Theater, the Space Station Theater. So it used to be at Avant Garden, and they would teach classes out of Mecca. And probably I think my second year. What do you call it? What do you call it when you graduate? Graduation.
Graduation.
Graduate. My second graduation was supposed to be at Avant Garden, and we showed up there, and there was a I can't think of the famous pinup.
Betty Page?
Betty Page. There's a Betty Page meetup. So we walk up to do our improv
Whoa.
show, and there's like 40 Betty Pages, and we're like, oh. Uh-oh. So we wait until Shyla showed up, and we're like, hey, I don't think we can do the show here. And they had just gotten the space, but there's no electricity there or anything. So we're like, do you want to not do the show? Do we want to try? And someone was finally like, let's just do it in the space. So we did it there with no electricity. We did an hour of improv by candlelight with a crowd of like 20, 25 or so. So it was like still like a packed show, but there's nothing in that theater yet. It was just an empty concrete room, and
That's amazing.
it was a pretty fun party. I'll never forget that improv show.
That sounds like it would be a really fun show.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time the power went out when I was doing something. I know I have been at a party when the power goes out.
Yeah.
And I just, hoisted myself up and went out to the fuse box and flipped the switch. So I guess it was at one of my houses. I don't know. Must have been a crazy power bill.
And I've been to parties that were broken up by the cops.
Oh.
See,
We should talk cop. We should talk. Yeah.
All right. How
Cop
do you
and
deal with
schlock.
the cops?
I ran.
You ran?
Yeah. I
Oh,
ran.
man.
They didn't-
Okay.
Like, they didn't see me, so I just ran.
That is tight. Talk to me about what was your strategy? What did you do to get out? Like, what did you...
It was dark, so I crouched and ran.
Yeah.
While they were going after people that...
Were you in a backyard? Were you... Oh, I love running from the cop story. Sorry, I'm like so excited about this.
Let's see, this was a house party in Huntsville.
Okay.
And I was underage.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. My mom already knows about all this. I don't mind putting it out there. Anyway, so I was, there's nothing else to do in Huntsville besides go to house parties. You can't go to bars if you're underage.
Yeah.
There's nothing... I mean... If you had a fake ID, the cops will know because they have nothing else to do other than bust underage drinking. So, anyway, so I'd gone to a house party, and the cops had come by to bust it up, and there were so many people, and I was just kind of like, well, ducked and ran.
This is what I got to do. Yeah. How
it wasn't
far?
very exciting.
How far did you run before you're like, I think I'm good?
I think I ran to a friend's place that was about 3 or 4 streets over.
That's good. You had a
And-
safe house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the 2 times I ran from cops, I ran like an extra mile of just being like,
dang.
I don't know what else to do. Like, just keep running.
yeah, they were going after people that were more obviously inebriated.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. The fact that you were upright and running, they're just like, she could probably pass the sobriety test.
Right.
She looks like she's running in a straight line.
And no, I just ran. And that's it. It's not a very exciting run from cop story, but it's a run from cop story.
Any run from the cop story. Now, on that, have you dealt with cops at a party before not running? Have you, like, talked to the cops or been busted by the cops where you just had to sit there while they
No, you never
talk
wanna,
to people?
You never want to put a left-wing Sicilian woman in front of cops.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Well,
no. You don't want that. No. So my friends. Well,
Oh, no.
no.
Oh,
Oh,
crud.
crap. All right.
This isn't good.
I guess because the power went out that the cops decided to show up.
They're
Listen,
probably showing
oh no.
Ned and I do not do well with
We're not
cops.
good with the
Nope.
cops. Do you mind? Can you talk to them? Is that cool?
Well, we don't have a choice because they're the free.
Yeah. We're gonna hide.
All right, we're out of here.
We both have warrants. Open up, please. Is anyone in here?
No.
Are these walls talking or smelling?
Yes.
What's going on here? I hear someone in. Just open the door. Okay, we're gonna unlock. Officer Skeleton.
Yep. Let me
you
grab
bring out
my keys.
your
I've got my skeleton's keys here, right here.
Popping it open.
All right, and I just kicked the door.
Whoa! Why are you playing the bongos?
Wait a minute. She wasn't playing the bongos. She was using the bongos as shoes and she ran away. Ah, jeez. We're the worst cops in town.
Oh man,
we can't even bust a party.
We did that stupid bongo drive months ago, so now everyone in the city has bongos.
You'll never take me alive, pigs.
What is that? The bongos talking? Crud.
And cut to the woods. Hey, Meredith. Glad you found us out here in the woods. How was it dealing with the cops?
Hey, Connor. Hey, Ned.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for letting me have a safe house out here.
Yeah, no problem. That's why we built the fort.
Here's your bug out bag.
Oh, jeez, guys. I just cut and ran.
You
I
didn't even
couldn't-
talk to them?
You don't want a left-wing Sicilian woman to talk to the cops.
Dang
Are you
it!
kidding
I
me?
feel like you just told us that. Crud. Now the cops are gonna squat in our house.
And scene. Speaking of squatting, Meredith, do you know anything about squatters' rights?
No.
We know a lot about
Yeah.
squatters' rights.
All right.
So,
Go ahead,
no,
man.
you first.
All right. So squatters' rights is when someone just doesn't move out of their apartment. and they just stay there. And some states have protections for those people, some don't. And Ned and I discovered that in pretty much every state but Texas, you just have to be there for 30 days, and then you're
30 days and doing something to uphold the property in a way. So if you pay for electricity, or even if you like fix a crack in the wall,
mow the yard,
yeah, something like that, then you can get squatters' rights, which gives you a certain extra amount of rights that'll protect you if someone's like, oh, you're squatting here. It's like, well, I've been here for a month and I'm actually taking care of the place. So like the law will kind of protect you in that.
Why are we living in Texas?
In Texas, it's 30 years.
You have to live in the domicile for 30 years without contacting the landlord. And without, like, if basically... If
Most
the landlord...
ghosts can't get squatters' rights.
Like you can get common law married before you can get squatters' rights.
Oh, yeah.
That's not fair.
Well, what I do love is that Texas does have squatters' rights. They're like, listen, if the landlord's that bad, where they don't contact you for 30 years or check in on the house, and you dupe them, you get to stay there.
This guy's stupid as a tree. Heck, give him squatters' rights.
Yeah, I feel like you should be rewarded for being able to play the long game like that.
Yeah, I think at that point they should just give you the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you technically would have to be at least 48 years old to acquire any squatters' rights.
That sounds like the worst game of Monopoly ever.
Ugh.
But a game nonetheless. A game we don't mind rolling the dice on.
Yeah, try and catch us, landlords.
Anyways, what we're saying is we're not leaving the studio tonight. If on Thursday you see someone under the table, don't say anything.
My lips are zipped.
Great.
Good. But unzip them because we're still on the show here.
Okay.
Do we want to keep doing the show?
I'm fine with that.
I feel like
I don't know. I don't know what
is
to do
everyone
here.
else